The office was silent when Ethan Cole walked in. He was the CEO, sharp-suited, known for his cold decisions. Today the silence felt heavier. A storm brewed in his chest. Last night still burned in his memory. A mistake. A moment of weakness with someone he should never have touched. She was the night cleaner. Her name was Lily Hart. She had wide, tired eyes and calloused hands. He had been working late, papers scattered, whiskey untouched. She was mopping the floor, humming under her breath. Their eyes met. Something fragile cracked. Words became laughter. Laughter became a kiss. The kiss became fire, and then she was gone before dawn. No note, no number, no trace. Now as sunlight hit the glass walls of his office, he couldn't focus. He searched every hallway. No Lily. Just whispers of keyboards and distant phones. That evening, he drove through the city, searching for her near the bus stop she once used. No sign. He felt a knot tighten. The next morning, he arrived at work early. The staff gathered, curious. He walked in holding something small and white. A pregnancy test. His jaw was tight. His heartbeat pounded. The door slid open. Lily stood there in her uniform, a yellow glove still on her hand. Her face drained when she saw him. Ethan stepped forward. He placed the test on the nearest desk. His voice was low, controlled almost a whisper. "We need to talk." The room froze. Every eye turned toward them. Lily's hands trembled. The test lay between them like a secret too heavy to hide. She looked around. Faces watched. Judgments hung in the air. She wanted to run. "Please," Ethan said, softer now. "Not here. Come with me." She followed him to his private office. The blinds closed behind them. He stood by the window, shoulders tense. "You disappeared," he said. "You didn't even give me a chance to explain." "There was nothing to explain," she said quietly. "It was a mistake." His eyes darkened. "A mistake doesn't follow you like this." She swallowed hard. "You don't even know if—" "I had to be sure," he cut in. "I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think." Lily felt the weight of her reality crush her. Her job was on the line. Her reputation too. And now this. He turned to her, voice breaking. "If it's mine, I take responsibility." Her breath hitched. "You're a CEO, I'm a cleaner. You don't owe me anything." "I do," he said, stepping closer. "I owe you everything if you're carrying my child." Tears welled in her eyes. The world outside the office felt distant, muted. The blinds rattled in the air conditioner's breeze. Ethan reached out, hesitated, then let his hand drop. Lily whispered, barely audible. "I don't want your pity." Ethan's chest tightened. "It's not pity, it's something I can't ignore." Their eyes locked, fragile and fierce. The silence between them stretched. Outside, the office buzzed on, unaware of the storm inside. And then Lily spoke, voice shaking. "What happens now?" Ethan's answer was a breath away. "We face it," he said. "Together." Lily stared at him. Her pulse thudded in her ears. She had expected anger or dismissal, not this calm promise. "You don't even know me," she whispered. "I know enough," he replied. His voice was steady, but his hands betrayed a faint tremor. Lily wrapped her arms around herself. "The world will eat me alive for this." Ethan moved closer. "Let them talk. I'm not letting you handle this alone." She stepped back, shaking her head. "This isn't a business deal you can control." He flinched at the words. The ruthless CEO who controlled everything now stood powerless before a woman in a cleaning apron. The office outside remained a distant hum. Here, time felt suspended. "Lily," he said softly, "I've spent years making choices with no heart in them. Last night, it wasn't like that. It mattered." Her eyes glistened. "I can't be some charity project to fix your guilt." His jaw clenched. "This isn't guilt. It's responsibility. And more than that, it's you." She looked at the pregnancy test on the desk, its presence screaming louder than their words. "What if it's positive?" "Then we decide what's right," Ethan said. The room fell quiet. Outside, laughter erupted near the break room, cruel in its normality. Lily took a deep breath. I need air. She turned and walked out, her shoes soft on the carpet. Employees turned to stare. Rumors would spread within minutes. Ethan followed her into the hallway. Lily, wait, she stopped near the elevator. You have an image to protect. Don't follow me. I don't care about my image, he said. She stepped into the elevator. The doors began to close. For a moment, Ethan thought he had lost her again, but her eyes met his through the narrowing gap. Don't chase me, she whispered. The doors shut. Ethan stood there, heart pounding. He had built an empire on certainty, yet now everything felt uncertain. That evening, he found himself parked outside a small diner where the cleaning staff often gathered after shifts. Through the window, he saw Lily at a corner table alone, staring into a cup of tea. He entered quietly. The bell above the door chimed. Heads turned, whispers spread. A CEO in a designer suit did not belong here. Lily looked up, startled. You shouldn't be here. I needed to be, he said, sliding into the booth across from her. She looked away. You're making this worse, Ethan leaned forward. I'm trying to make it right. Her fingers tightened around the cup. Right would be erasing last night. I can't erase it, he said, and I wouldn't if I could. Silence stretched between them, broken only by the hum of the diner's fridge. Finally, Lily spoke, her voice fragile. I'm scared. He reached across the table, his hand stopping just short of hers. So am I. Her eyes flicked to his hand, then back to his face. What are you really offering? Ethan took a deep breath. A choice, a future, and my name if you'll have it. Her breath caught. Marriage? You can't be serious. I've never been more serious, he said, his voice low but unwavering. Tears welled in her eyes again. You don't even know if there's a baby. I don't need proof to know what matters, Ethan said. The diner door swung open as a gust of wind swept through. For a moment they sat frozen, two worlds colliding over a single fragile secret. Lily whispered, This will destroy everything you've built. Ethan's gaze didn't waver, then let it. I can rebuild. I can't rebuild you. The room around them blurred. Only their eyes stayed locked. The world outside faded. The decision hovered between them, sharp as glass. The night stretched long, and the choice that would change their lives loomed closer with every heartbeat. The diner's neon sign flickered against the window as Lily stared at it. Ethan! Her heart thumped so loud she could barely hear the chatter around them. His words hung in the air, impossible and dangerous. She swallowed hard. You can't rebuild me. I'm not a project. Ethan's jaw tightened. You're not. You're someone I can't ignore. Her fingers trembled on the edge of her cup. This isn't how real life works. CEOs don't marry cleaners overnight. He leaned in, voice steady. Then let me prove I'm not like the others. A waitress passed their booth, eyes lingering, curiosity sharp. Whispers rose from another table. Lily felt exposed, but Ethan didn't flinch. I can't just say yes, she said, her tone brittle. I'm not asking for blind faith, Ethan replied. I'm asking for a chance. She looked at the pregnancy test tucked into her bag. The small plastic stick felt like a ticking clock. Ethan, she whispered, if it's positive, everything changes. Then let it change, he said without hesitation. Her lips parted, words failing her. She pushed back from the booth and stood. I need time. He rose too. Time, yes. But don't disappear again. Their eyes locked, heavy with unspoken things. Then she walked out into the cool night. Ethan stayed behind, staring at the half-empty teacup she'd left. He felt the walls of his carefully controlled life cracking. The next morning, Lily sat in her small apartment, the pregnancy test on the counter beside her. Her phone buzzed, a message from Ethan, please don't shut me out. She didn't reply. She couldn't. She needed air, space, something steady. She went to work early, hoping to avoid him, but he was already there, standing near the lobby with dark circles under his eyes. He approached her quietly. Lily, she froze. You can't keep following me. I'm not following, he said softly. I'm waiting. She moved past him toward the supply closet. Waiting for what? A miracle? Waiting for you to trust me, he said. She stopped, her back to him. The weight of his words pressed into her. That afternoon, gossip had spread through the office like wildfire. Lily felt every stare, every whispered rumor. By late evening, the building was empty except for them. She was scrubbing a conference room table when Ethan stepped inside. Lily, I called a doctor, he said. You can take the test properly tomorrow. She shook her head. This isn't your responsibility. It is, he replied firmly. She set the cloth down. Even if you mean it now, what about next week? Next month? When this becomes inconvenient? Ethan's eyes softened. Then I'll still be here. Her chest tightened. You say that like promises don't break. He stepped closer. They don't, not if I make them. For a moment, silence. The city lights shimmered through the glass walls. Lily whispered, You're risking everything. Ethan's voice was low but sure. What good is everything if I lose the one thing that feels real? Her eyes filled. You barely know me. Then let me, he said. The air between them shifted. Her defenses wavered. She looked at the city skyline, then back at him. If this test is positive, what happens? Then I'll marry you, he said without hesitation. She blinked. You're serious. Completely. Lily felt the world tilt. Fear and hope twisted together inside her. She took a shaky breath. Tomorrow, she whispered. We'll know tomorrow. Ethan nodded, relief flickering in his eyes. They stood in the quiet conference room, the hum of the city beyond the glass. Two lives on the edge of a choice neither had planned for. The night stretched around them, holding its breath. Morning sunlight spilled through Lily's small apartment window. She sat on the edge of her bed, the unopened pregnancy test in her hands. Her palms were damp. Outside, the city hummed, oblivious to her shaking world. A knock sounded on the door. She didn't need to ask who it was. She opened it to find Ethan, dressed simply in jeans and a white shirt. His usual polished armor was gone. His eyes searched hers. Are you ready? He asked quietly. She stepped aside to let him in. He stood by the window as she walked into the bathroom. The sound of the wrapper tearing seemed deafening. Minutes felt like hours. When she returned, her face was pale. She held the small stick out toward him. A faint line glowed. Positive, Ethan's chest rose and fell. He reached for her hand but stopped, waiting for her to allow it. She didn't pull away. Lily, he said softly, we'll do this together. Tears pooled in her eyes. You don't know what this means for you. The board. Your reputation. I know what it means for us, he replied. She let out a shaky laugh that wasn't quite a laugh. People will say you were trapped. Let them, Ethan said. I'm not marrying you to silence anyone. Her lip trembled. Marrying? He nodded. I wasn't bluffing. Lily stepped back, overwhelmed. Ethan, this is too fast. I don't care about fast, he said. I care about doing what's right. I care about you. Her eyes closed as if holding back a flood. She thought of her lonely nights of scrubbing floors no one noticed, of a future she had never dared to imagine. When she opened her eyes, Ethan was still there, steady and unyielding. Hours later, in a quiet corner of City Hall, they stood before a clerk. No lavish ceremony, no applause. Just two signatures on a paper and the faint rustle of documents. As they stepped out into the afternoon sun, the weight of their choice settled over them. Lily's apron and gloves had been replaced by a simple dress she borrowed from a neighbor. Ethan's hand held hers firmly. They walked through the park nearby. Children laughed in the distance. For a moment the world seemed simple. Lily spoke first. I'm scared. Ethan squeezed her hand. So am I, but we'll learn. She glanced up at him. You're giving up a lot. He shook his head. I'm gaining more. Their footsteps crunched on the gravel path. The city's skyline loomed beyond the trees, a reminder of the battles ahead. Back at the office, whispers flew. Some said Ethan had lost his mind. Others said it was the bravest thing he'd ever done. Days turned into weeks. They faced meetings where board members questioned his judgment, headlines that speculated on scandal, and long nights where doubt crept in. But in the quiet moments, sharing tea at dawn, feeling their child's first flutter, Lily began to believe. One evening, after another exhausting day, Ethan found her on the balcony of their small apartment. The city lights twinkled like stars. She leaned against him, the growing curve of her belly between them. "Do you regret it?" she asked. He kissed her forehead. "Not for a second." She closed her eyes, letting the sound of the city wash over them. Far below, life went on. Taxis honking, strangers laughing. The world spinning, unaware of the two lives forever altered. In that quiet, Ethan tightened his arms around her. For the first time in years, he felt complete. The night air was cool against their skin. The future was uncertain, but together it no longer felt terrifying. They stood there, a CEO and a cleaner, bound not by status but by choice, by a single fragile night that became their everything. And somewhere in the distance, the city kept its secrets.